Welcome everybody to the Azure and AI Show. With me is Joseph from um, Lagos, and Joseph is going to do some talk and demo for us this evening. Um, Hopefully, we'll have Dan Ray from Chicago joining us as well, and Dan might do some stuff on the Copilot. And myself, Frank Falvey from Cork in Ireland. And just Paul is after joining us as well from the UK. How are you, Paul?
Yeah, not bad. How are you doing? You okay?
Good. Joseph, your screen is kind of going a bit iffy. Dan, how are you?
Great. How are you guys?
Not too bad. Are
Hey,
you
Paul.
going to do some Copilot stuff for us today?
I could do that.
Very good. I think Joseph has just dropped off again, so maybe we give him a minute or two. He wanted to kind of finish up what he'd done last week there.
That
He's
works.
having some broadband issues.
Okay. Yeah, I had those Thursday.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the new modem coming out to me next week, so I hope mine doesn't go down. Yeah, so Paul, how have you been?
Yeah, not too bad. Just keeping busy. Yeah, just I don't know whether I'm coming or going at the moment sometimes. And then sometimes I'm sitting there doing nothing. So it's either feast or famine at the moment.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if Joseph is going to make it back to us there. He was getting things ready. So we might just give him a minute or two. So what's new with Copilot, Dan? Any interesting?
Hold on, let me mute.
I can't get Copilot to work on my desktop on Excel. It works on the online version. I don't know if I need to contact Microsoft.
Yeah, I've been able to get it working in Excel. Did you
Desktop or
download
online?
Desktop? Some of the desktop stuff has been funky lately. I think they're pushing out new updates to it. So
I had it work on everything, and just the Copilot button is grayed out. Now maybe if I put it in, maybe I should open up a table.
Yeah,
it should be there. It should be even if I don't have it in a table, it should still work. Let me just check.
It needs to be in a table. That was something with Excel at this point.
Yeah, got it in a table.
It has to be in a table. Okay.
Got it in a table. It's still grayed out.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel every time I show Copilot these days, it feels like it's not there yet. It's not there yet. I just prefer ChatGPT and do it the long way around.
Okay, so I think I've got my LinkedIn and my X set up.
Yeah, I see that we have 3 LinkedIn profiles now broadcasting.
Perfect.
We've got 2 Twitter or X, and we've got 1 YouTube. How do you actually add the other ones to that, Dan?
You come in as a guest. That's why there's a Dan guest.
Yeah.
Because I'm logged in as a guest, not as the account that has the admin rights.
Okay.
So yeah, my Copilot is grayed out right now, but I think that's just because I'm not dealing with a table yet. So we could start with Excel and see where we're at. Joseph's back, it looks like.
Okay, cool. So we'll leave him carry on. So hey, Joseph. you want to carry on and share your screen, Rod? No, I'd say his broadband is still a bit flaky.
Yeah, that's possible.
I'm not going to stay for the whole session. It's literally just to pop in and quickly say hello.
Okay.
Sure, Paul. No problem.
And it's all Azure, isn't it, mainly? So, yeah, this is stuff I need to learn about.
Frank, I can go ahead and just share Excel and we can see if we can get something going there.
Yeah. So, okay.
Welcome, everyone. Have you already done the welcomes and the...
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. So this is Excel. Paul, this is my full version of Excel. You can see the Copilot is grayed out. And I have it in 2 accounts right now. So I have it in my DESA account as well as my Copilot Pro in my personal account. So if I just set up a table here, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Dell, HP, Amazon, Adobe, and convert this stuff to stocks, and then pull in some other information, highs, lows, and then tell this that it's a table. No headers, so it'll create the headers for me. Now when I go back to home, I should have Copilot. Let's see if it's gonna behave here. It's still grayed out. I'm in an account with a license. Let's add my personal account, see if it behaves any differently in the full version.
Every time I do Copilot, I'm spending half the time apologizing.
Or trying to get things set up that were working when you tested them. I did a session with these earlier, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was fairly well behaved, but they're certainly making some changes. And typically if I've had issues with the the full application version, I usually use the online version, web-based version to see if, yeah. And that's been pretty consistent. PowerPoint for a while, when I was sharing PowerPoint, the Copilot button, when you did click on it, would give almost a splash screen, like they had updated code and it was reintroducing, hey, this is what Copilot does. So I think that's what's happening with things like Excel, PowerPoint, and other applications, is the Copilot code is getting updated on a pretty consistent basis. As MVPs, we have weekly calls with the Copilot team, but much of that is under NDA, so I can't really share what happens on those calls. But they're informing us of what's happening behind the scenes as well. Welcome back, Joseph. It looks like you've got your broadband.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm back now. So I guess that issue was happening maybe because I was streaming. I don't know if my bandwidth is not that strong. So Dan, it's good to have you. Paul, first time meeting you.
How are you, sir?
Very happy to have you here today. So yes, I heard you were talking about the Copilot functionality and the efficiency, right?
Yep.
So Dan, I want to say thank you on this live show for the experience I had from the license. I had to play around the Copilot. It actually guided me and exposed me to a lot of things that Copilot could do. And I must say thank you very much. Yeah.
No problem. I'm glad you were able to use it. And
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's great. And you were doing some stuff with Teams and the voice functions, right? Auto tenants and...
Yes, I'm just going to be doing majorly on user voice today. That is enterprise user, not actually the virtual user, which is the sure. So Frank, if I can go ahead, I think I will be sharing my screen now.
Sure. While we have you on, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just going to share, and I'll do my entire screen, put on my audio. Okay. So I will just be quickly running us through the summary of the Teams voice, and we can go to the practicals. So confirm that you can see my screen, please.
1 second there now. I'll just add it to show. 2 seconds. Yeah, we can see it there now. Give it 2 seconds to show up.
Yep.
Looks good.
Okay, so I thank you again for this opportunity. Last week we were trying to look at the Teams voice, and we got stuck at some point due to my network stability. So I just want to bring up my notepad and just do a short description, and then we can start from where we stopped. So we were saying that, for example, you have this caller, this user here. This is his call. You are going to have the option of the notepad where he can make phone call. But if you come to this other tenant here, let me just quickly launch this. You would see that basically the user here does not have the dial pad, so he cannot make call, cannot make the public switch telephone network calls, right? So this user can only, this one here that I'm trying to load up can only make call using the email addresses of the users that he wants to contact, right? So one thing that will make you have the voice functionality in Teams is if you have the required license. Now, if you want to make SIP call, all you need is just to have. So when I say SIP call, what I mean is calling with email address, just email address of user, you can call. Then if you want to make PSTN call, the public switch telephone network calls, that is using phone numbers to call, that is calling cell phone numbers from Microsoft Teams, then you need to have two basic license, which are the phone system and calling plan license. Now, I must say here that you don't need, it is not compulsory that you have calling plan, because it is not all regions or countries in the world that have calling plan license. Now, but phone system is compulsory for you if you want to have voice in Teams. Then the option to use calling plan will depend on if you want to use Microsoft as a solution. Then you need to check if the calling plan is available in your region. If it is not available in your region, then you have options that you can explore, which are Operator Connect, and then you have the option for direct routing. So I'm stating here that if you want to use, since you don't have, let's say for example, you don't have the calling plan in your country, and you want to use Operator Connect, you don't need calling plan license, but you definitely need phone system license. Okay. Having said that, if you are going for the calling plan, you have three different options. You have three different licenses. But even before that, if you have M365E5 or O365E5, that is M365E5 or O365E5, this comes with phone system license, so you don't need to buy phone system. But if you have E3 downwards, E3, if you have E1, if you have business standard, or let's say from premium down to standard, down to standard, then I mean down to even basic, anything below that, anything below E5, then you need to go buy phone system license as an add-on to add to your license before considering the option of either going for calling plan, or if it's not available in your region, or if you feel there are more telephone providers that are cheaper in your environment, you can decide to go for Operator Connect, or you can also set up direct routing. I have said so many things, but we just want to look at the Microsoft document here. So Microsoft document here is saying that you might want the simplest solution, which is actually the Microsoft Teams phone with calling plan, which we are going to demonstrate here today. This option is Microsoft All in the Cloud solution that provide private, that is the PBX functionality, and COF, that is the PSTN functionality completely. All in Microsoft. It begins and ends here with Microsoft providing your phone. But if your answer to yes, if this your answer to this is yes, everything should begin and end with Microsoft, then you want to go for calling plan. Now, if yes, of course, you are going for calling plan, is it available in your region? That's the next question you want to ask yourself. Then which regions are they available? And how do I know I am in Nigeria right now? Do I go for calling plan? Is it available? How can I confirm if it is? There is a Microsoft document also that you need to use. If I am in the United Kingdom, I'll come here and I will see that I have calling plan is yes, minutes available, description. If let me just pick a random country, just pick a country randomly rather, I'll come down here this way. I will find out that yes, I have chosen which country this time, Portugal, and there is calling plan available in Portugal. This is the description of what is available for me. Let me just pick Nigeria here and see if I have calling plan. And the answer is no, there is no calling plan available. Then the question now is it possible for me to set up voice now that I don't have calling plan feature in my region? The answer is yes, and it can also later be no, depending on the situation that I see when I check further with the other options that I have. So this is what I was trying to explain. If you look at this, for example, you would find out that this is under call, and this user does not have the what's it called the diepad. But if I come to this other guy here, you would find out that he has diepad. You can see this. This guy can only call using the SIP, which is the section initiation protocol, using email address to call. But this guy can decide to call someone's phone number by just dialing here and hitting on it. It will go to the mobile or the cell phone, right? So having said that, I was mentioning the region. I am in Nigeria and I don't have calling plan license available. So what do? I would go down to the admin center, and then this is the Teams admin center, admin.teams.microsoft.com. And then I want to come here and I'll go down to voice. If I expand voice, I have options, direct routing. First of all, I have phone numbers. That is if I'm using Microsoft phone system, calling plan. And then I have operator connect. I have option for direct routing. This you choose if you don't have this option. However, there are some organizations that combine the three. Let's say a multi-regional company that has a company in regions where these phone systems are available, and others in other regions that do not have this phone, calling plan feature available. They can combine the three. It could be complex, but of course, is something doable and is something that is being practiced. So I just want to look at Operator Connect here. So if you come to Operator Connect, you will just find out something. I have one Operator Connect, but I will leave it and come to All Operator Connect or All Operator. Yeah, now, from here, you browse. Below is the list of the operators who partner with Microsoft to provide calling and conferencing service via Operator Connect. So Microsoft knows that maybe at this time it's not available across the globe, and it's collaborating with famous telco to see that they can provide this feature to people in those regions that have them. For example, there is Airtel in Nigeria. If I scroll down, we see MTN. There is MTN in Nigeria. So let's say, for instance, I want to set up phone number in Teams, and I see that I don't have it available in my region, and I want to decide to go to, I want to decide to explore the option of Operator Connect. I'll come here, and then I'll try to follow the instructions that will be given to me here, and it will guide me straight to, yeah, from what I have here, there is no Nigeria as well, unfortunately. Let's say I want to check Uganda or Zambia or Cameroon if I have phone system there, so that we can use that as a demo now. availability. So if I come to, let me check again. If I just come to Cameroon, yeah, that will be very easy for me to quickly look at. So if I come to see up here, Cameroon, let's see if there is calling plan from Microsoft to Cameroon. So the answer is no, but um, MTN can provide me phone numbers in Cameroon by just filling this detail, and I would go ahead to have this is Joseph, and I just write capture, okay, H here, and then um, let's just say this because it's just for demo. Enter a number with this. If I enter this number actually and I accept the condition, I move ahead. This will direct me straight to the portal for MTN to inquire the cost of their calls, other conditions around that. So, but before I can even explore this option and have this phone number assigned to my users, then the user must have the E5, must have the phone system license. So this phone system license can either be an add-on, that is, if the user that has that license assigned is using either E5 Microsoft or E5 Office, then phone system is going to be among the as an add-on among the licenses, the applications that he has access to. But if anything below that, then there is need for phone system, yeah, to be bought as an add-on. But today we are going to be focusing on getting both the phone system and then in a country where there is calling plan. So we are going to be picking a user who is in the US. Of course, I know that US has phone numbers. Yeah, the calling plan. And then we are going to pick up a user who has no diepad in Teams, who is just like this guy here, who has nothing here, who cannot make PSTN call, no phone number assigned. And we want to see how we get phone numbers from Microsoft, and then we assign this phone number to the user. And if possible, if everything syncs very well within the allotted time, they will have that user make calls. Okay. So I'm just coming here, and I'm just going to pick a user randomly that has E5 license, because this user, for example, Grady, has E5 license. That's the only thing he has, right? So I'm going to change his login credentials so we can log in, and then I will have it changed to what I know. So I'm just going to give him a temporary password and have him sign into Microsoft Teams, and let's see how it does not have access to phone numbers, right? So I'll just do C from here, and I do C from here, and then let me just bring up a profile. The guy's name is what is Grady, so I'm just going to call him Grad. I'll just quickly create a browser profile for the guy. So I am going to get a profile for him. Come on. So yeah, start without this, continue browsing, and then I'll leave it in white so we can see clearly, and then finish. I'll just rename this profile very quickly, settings. Yes, then edit, then grad. Okay, so that's his name. So in this browser, I'm just going to do teams.microsoft.com. .microsoft.com. And so we're just going to paste Grady's details. This is his email address, and I'm just going to get his password from here also. And then I'm going to change his password definitely, so that this is a live show and we need to keep his password secure. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to sign in as Grady now, and we just want to see, we just want to confirm that he does not have the functionality to make PSTN call. Okay, and we are going to be banking on Microsoft solution for this setup from the beginning to the end. So let's wait for him to quickly sign in. It's just initializing. Okay. So while this is even going on, I'll just quickly go to I'll just quickly come to control. So okay, let me switch so that as soon as that is loading, we'll come back to him. Control. So and then let's check the guy's details, Grady. So we want to see the license that he has. So we come to licenses and apps. So he has E5 license, and because of that E5 license he have, let me see the E5 here. He has M365 E5. Because of this license, I'm expecting that he's going to have phone system license when I scroll down, and that phone system is going to be coming from, yeah, look at it. It's going to be coming from E5, M365 E5. This is the only license, as every other license from E3 would not come with phone system. You have to get that as an add-on. So if you have O365 E5 as well, you're going to have this license. So two licenses are required, phone system, and then the second one is the calling plan. Now it has phone system, but let's verify if it has phone number, or if it even has that functionality at all. So yeah, this one should come up now so that we can, yeah, look at it. So we come here, and then we will see that Grady has no phone number. So get started. This is just the first time this guy is signing in. So the next thing we want to do is just to quickly come to here to look nothing, right? So we can just quickly come back to the admin center, which is we are in Contoso here. Okay, so Grady is here. So what do I need to give to Grady to be able to give him a phone number, right? So before I even do that, I would come to the admin center and I will come under voice, phone number. I will come under voice, and then so if you come to voice, right, there's option to add phone number. Okay, but before this phone number, I want to take you to somewhere that is very important, and that is emergency location. So before you can get a phone number, you must have emergency location, emergency address. So what you do is that emergency address is going to match with the phone number that you would use or you want to obtain. So if you want to add emergency location or emergency address, you click on add, and then for example you want to call it AI show, AI show. And then the country or region, you come to United States, and then or whatever location that you want to choose, and then you can manually input the address. You go to the street number, you go to the street name, the city, and put everything that has to do with the emergency address. So what this does is that emergency location, this emergency address is actually a civic address that is a physical street address of a place of business for your organization, used to route emergency calls to appropriate dispatch authorities and to assist in locating an emergency caller. So that this is just for security reason. Okay, this is for security reason. And when it is set up, like I have one here already showing Contoso emergency. That is the name of the emergency address I have already in this thing, and we can have separate one just in case we have separate offices. So coming back to phone number, right? You would see the option to add phone number. Okay, so we just want to do Azure/AI show. That is the name of the order we are placing. So we can just copy it and then put it here, V, and then we want to say, okay, this guy is in the US. So the guy's location must match with the phone number you are assigning to him. So I'll just do United States here, right? And then I will come here. The type of phone numbers that you are you want to choose depends on what the number is going to be used for. If the number is going to be assigned to a user, like Dan mentioned, call queues, auto attendant. So if you are getting a phone number for a service, let's say for a call queue, for an auto attendant, for call queue to, so what all this means, it's actually out of scope for now for what I want to cover. But for toll number, The user calling the tool, the number will be the one to pay for the call for toll free. Then it is free call to that, but the tenant pays for the call and all of that. But what we are looking for is a user number where we can assign to user. The remaining count is calculated from the current license volume minus previous acquired stock. I have 25 phone numbers that I can still obtain. And this is calculated singly based on the calling plan license that I have in my environment, actually. But I just want us to pick one out of the 25 that is remaining in that environment that my tenant can still obtain. Then the next thing is to ask me to search for the emergency location. So for the emergency location, you have to type the first three characters of the emergency location, the description of the emergency location, and you click on this, and it's going to count, it's going to select phone number for you if you choose an area code for it. So you click on next, and what's going to happen this time, it is going to go to the phone number pool and bring out a phone number for you and have a countdown from 0 to 10 minutes. So if you are not comfortable with the 2247 phone number, you can just hold on. It times out here, and then you are good to get another one coming from the phone number pool, as this one will return to the pool. But for this time, I don't have a preference. I'm just going to copy this as a number I want to place order on. So the next thing that will happen is the phone number is going to get ready and available in my tenant. So let's just wait for it to come up, as we have actually placed order already. So I would expect that phone number to come up now. So while that is still loading, I would have wanted us to, it's not supposed to take long to come up. We've got the number already. Let me just refresh and see what if the delay will allow it to drop. Let me refresh and see why that's delaying. It's just supposed to be available. Let's check the phone numbers available in the tenant and see if that is there already, because that was the last step we were supposed to see before we have the phone number available. So we have the phone number here. This is it. Let's see if it came and we did not see. Okay, so it was actually placed. It's here already. There was supposed to be a message showing us that the phone number has been obtained, but of course 2247 is already here. So we want to assign it to a user. How do we now assign this phone number to a user? So the way you do that is to come here, check the phone number itself, click on edit, and then you come to this place. You paste the user's email address there. It is not going to bring the guy out, and I know why. It is because he has not met the requirement. Like I mentioned here, before you can make a user have the PSTN function, you have to make sure the user has both the phone system license and as well as calling plan license assigned to him. And if you come here, the last time we checked, he has only phone system and does not have calling plan. Okay, so that's why we go to his licenses and apps, and then we are going to immediately try to give him calling plan. Now I will explain the calling plan features. The calling plan, I will assign this to him, and then I will take time to explain the types of calling plans that we have. So we have three types of calling plan. We have types of calling plan. Types. Okay, let me take this away. Types of calling plan. So we have local calling plan. We have international calling plan. International. And then we have pay as you go. As you go. Maybe like that. Yeah. So pay as you go license, you have local. So this enables the caller to call phone number of users who are located within the region that he or she is. Then international is allow you calls to about 196 different countries from the country that you are, as well as your local calling plan. And then you have the pay as you go plan. I think I have that option here. Let me check. not this. I have a document that I used to make a video. Yeah, this is it. So with domestic calling plan license, user can call out to numbers located in the country where they are, in M365. Unlimited calling minutes are included and all of that. So there are even further types of local call domestic calling plan, local or domestic calling plan. You have the domestic calling plan zone 1, you have the domestic calling plan zone 1 for UK and Canada, then you have domestic calling plan zone 2 for users in Australia and all of these other countries mentioned. Then you have international calling plan, which has both domestic and international calling plan integrated into it to make outbound calls to 196 countries within these regions. I mean, these countries, 196 are the countries that you can make calls to if you have the international calling plan assigned to you as a user. But what we have right now in this tenant is the local calling plan, and that's what we have given to this guy, Microsoft Teams domestic calling plan. So now that we've assigned this to this user, I would expect that if we refresh this place and we go to the Teams admin center and refresh as well, we should now be able to assign the license that is required for him to be assigned phone number. Therefore, we should be able to assign phone number to him. So let's just have this refresh to the end and then we'll come back. We still remember the phone number was copied and that was 2247, right? So if you want to assign phone number, coming here, nothing shows up. It's just phone number, this. But you must understand something. This is user. The license usage is user. You can't assign this number to a service. But recently, there is a very great development where you can convert a phone number. You can change the usage to service number. This used to be a very big challenge as of 2021 when you have to raise a PTN support for you to change your user number to service or service number to user number, but you can now do that here. But let's proceed. That is outside of this scope. So if you want to assign a phone number, you click on this and then you go to edit and then you will see assign/unassigned. At this time, I'm expecting that if I paste the email address of Gadi, it should be able to tell me, yeah, that I should assign to him. The reason is because he has met the license requirements for the voice in Teams. So I would expect now that at this point, the phone number is going to be assigned to him. Yeah, it's already been assigned, and all these are just details. Enable a high quality calling experience for the user with Microsoft certified Dext phone. Shop for device based on basis, and all of these are just further details for your own consumption, but you can just click out and that's gone. So by now, I'm expecting that the 2247 number is going to be assigned to Gadi within 2 hours. But sometimes you can be very lucky that you would just have the phone number show up. So who knows, we may just be lucky on this show and the phone numbers just show up and we can try to use it to make call at this moment. So let's see. Let's keep our fingers crossed and see the outcome of the work that we have done. Okay, so let's click on phone and see if that comes up. Yeah, it just came up. So we have that phone number here. So the good thing that we want to do now is to have one of the user try to make call using this phone number to Grady. Let me not pronounce his name wrongly. To Grady, yeah. So I'm just going to do this, bring Grady to this side, or perhaps no, let me bring Grady to this side of my screen, and then let me go bring mod admin to this other side. Let me bring mod admin to this other side. So this is mod admin. I want mod admin to call Grady. So mod admin can just come here and paste this phone number. This could have been Grady's US PSTN phone number, which is not even online, like it's not connected to the internet, but this can still be called. So let's try to make a call to Grady, the phone number we just got, and let's see if we can be lucky enough that the number will go through now. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Good. So it's already going through. So mod admin can take the call and they should be able to talk, right? So that's how sweet it is. that this demo came to an end, and we could see the results. So, but I must mention again that, for example, you have user in far distance region. For example, you have a user in a country, let's say in Australia, and you have one in the US, and you want to make a call. Of course, you know the long distance travel of calls. If you are both on the same tenant and you are calling the user, teams rather use the SIP call because it goes through a very shorter route because you are both on the same tenant. But if you are calling someone outside of your own tenant, it uses the PSTN long distance calling to establish that call to that user. So that's how it can be. So if we just want to bring up a summary, for you to be able to use Microsoft, strictly Microsoft Teams voice solution, then you need phone system, you need calling plan, and then you need to obtain phone number. And the phone number you obtain is based on the quantity of phone numbers you obtain is based on the license requirement, which is the calling plan license you have in the tenant that decides that. So you can just see how to assign phone numbers to user. So that will be the wrap up. If you need these documents, I can share them with you. When we post this live session, I will just go to use the links to make comments so that in case there's anyone you want to read to digest how it works, and then yeah, sure, you can just go and digest it. So that is all we'll be able to cover today, and I want to thank you for the opportunity.
That's great, Joseph. Very detailed and demo worked out at the end. Very good.
Yeah,
Awesome job.
thank you.
Joseph, do you have any of the certified phone devices?
No, I don't have any.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got this Yealink, the MP56, and
Wow,
so
that's
it's a phone device similar
Yeah.
to what you showed in the application. This, if you connect it through Power over Ethernet, can be logged in as that same Grady account, and then the phone number shows up on this, and you've got a physical dial pad, and extend that beyond just the software of Teams, which is pretty cool.
That makes sense a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great demo.
Thank you, Dan.
Any other questions?
So, Joseph, I just subscribed to your YouTube channel. I'm
Okay.
just going to display it on the bottom of the screen. If anybody wants to subscribe to your YouTube channel, it's coming up on the end of the screen there. So we
Great.
see you've got
Thank you very much. Yeah.
322 subscribers and you have 80 videos.
Afeso.
So,
I'm going to subscribe now as well.
okay.
All right. Thank you, Paul.
Joseph the trainer, yes?
Yes, definitely. That's it.
Subscribe. Just done it just now. Well done.
Thank you.
My
I actually
pleasure.
have a lot of videos I'll be uploading on Monday. So I had interaction with some students, and I realized a lot of people actually want to dive into tech, but most of the content creators are concentrating on the advanced technologies without remembering that there are people who can barely put on the computer, right? So have done demo on the keyboard analysis, how they can identify the space bar different from the tab key and all of that. So we went into creating folders and just very elementary stuff, and I'll be pushing that out. And this demo that we just did, I did a video on this morning just so I can be very straight to the point when we come to this call. So by Monday, I'll be pushing out like 6 to 7 videos. And I just finished attack simulation training in Microsoft Defender. So malware attack simulation training, credential harvest simulation training, and all of those. I'm looking forward to making those videos by tomorrow. And by Monday, I may be pushing up to 7 or 8 videos out at a time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've slowed down on my YouTube videos. I'm starting again slowly. Slowly starting again.
Okay, Dan. So you got your presentation up there.
Yeah. So Frank, I know you went live today. I went live today, and then we had Paul as well as Joseph on. But if you think about just the four of us and the networks that we have, and the both the common people that we have in place as well as the people that we don't have in each other's networks, I would say our reach is well over 25,000. But if we look at everybody's network here, we're reaching different audiences, different people, different parts of the world. It's pretty cool to think about just four people coming together and either putting this on their LinkedIn or YouTube or X or Facebook or whatever the different channels are. When we have Solomon and Teresa and, Seena from over in Bahrain, we've got the opportunity to really think about this going not only worldwide, but to literally thousands of different people, either real time, or the nice thing about the LinkedIn Lives, at least, is they're available immediately afterwards. So you don't have to like upload or, think about doing something different to have somebody watch that when it's convenient for them, especially when we think about Ami Diamond in Israel or Dicky in Indonesia. It's much more difficult for the times we've chosen, maybe for them to get up at 2 or 3 in the morning or whatever their local time is. This really gives us an opportunity to look at some of those things a little differently. Paul, to your point, I used a prompt in Copilot and expected, hey, can Copilot add a slide about LinkedIn social networking, 2 profiles that have over 10,000 connections, and LinkedIn was Copilot was kind enough to tell me, I'm not going to build the slide for you, but I'm going to tell you how to build the slide, which I already know how to build the slide, right?
Oh, yeah.
To your point, like sometimes it goes really well, and other times you're just apologizing or you're thinking, I know how to build the slide.
I sometimes feel like I own Microsoft when I start apologizing. I feel like it's my fault. I didn't pay the programmers enough money. I'm the one responsible for it not working. And it's not. It's just you're trying to be an advocate. And I've never had that with ChatGPT or the other software. But I think I don't have the confidence in Copilot yet.
Yeah, it's definitely early days from a standpoint of some of the features, and then as they're rolling things out, some things that had been working have changed behaviors, and sometimes I get this kind of behavior where it tells me what I want to do. Sometimes I get like a slide and maybe I'm happy with it. Teresa noted recently that many of the slides, like if I just say put together a presentation on social networking as an example, typically she was getting 5 slides from that if she didn't put additional prompt information in. Yes. I don't know if you've seen that same kind of like default behavior.
I specify how many slides I want.
Right.
And more often than not, it will aim to do. But it's just, I'm trying to say it's wonderful. For Microsoft Teams, when it's transcribing the meeting, I've sometimes asked people a question and then said to Copilot, how did people answer this question? And it turns around to me and says, this question wasn't relevant to the meeting. And I'm like, but this question was relevant to the meeting. And I was like, how can you tell me? I'd ask a random question and Copilot would say, had nothing to do with the meeting. I'm not going to give you the answers. Whereas the week before, it gave me everybody's answer along with the transcript. Then it put it into a table. And the next time I showed it, it's like, no, it's irrelevant. I'm like, you can't tell me what's relevant. It was hilarious. It was, yeah.
So I understood that by default, Copilot would always give you 6 slides when you use that in PowerPoint. So Frank, you remember the other day, Teresa was saying that we could ask it to add more slides, or were you the one that said that? So when I asked it to add more slides, I only saw repetition of slides. I only saw repetition, like where it's just being rewritten, and some are even direct. It just add 3 slides for me. You can just make slide 1 into 2, and then add like 2 like 3 times, and then just repeat it, and that's all. And I was on a live video trying to demo some things, and I tried to see, I can quickly say, hey, Copilot, add for me. And I realized that I was making mess of myself. I was saying, oh, I'm sorry. I can see that this is actually being repeated, and it doesn't make sense at all.
So this is one of those examples of adding a slide and Copilot doing a really good job of putting the word mutiny, which I think the full word is community. But, you know, the slide setup here was not the maybe most appropriate for looking at that. If we go into designer, maybe we'd get some designs that might put the word in a different.
I've just used designer and it's given me 6 slides.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so we might be able to use something like this to either change some of the branding, some of the locations of the placeholders. You know, think about different ways that we could clean up this slide or make it better. And you know, it's giving us a starting point basically in PowerPoint. But I would agree, you know, the thing I think about a lot of times with Copilot is I'm getting something that I'm paying for that's just going to get better exponentially over the year that I have it. And the nice thing was Copilot Pro, Paul, I don't know if you've signed up for that as well. It was only $20 a month, and you didn't have to commit to an entire year. So even if you know,
I didn't have that option. I'm on the E3 license, and when I set it up,
so so Copilot Pro is the personal version, which you don't have integration with Teams yet. I'm not sure if you will, because Teams operates a little differently on a personal account. But for things like PowerPoint, Excel, Word, Outlook, Copilot Pro is for a personal account. So you have to associate it with like a Hotmail or a Outlook.com. But the nice thing is you only have to commit to a month. So Joseph, I know I was talking to you about that, where if some of the Copilot either training or demos that you want to do, or something that you're not sure how often you're going to do, not sure whether you want to do those live or whether you want to, you know, kind of take the learning and put it into a PowerPoint so that you don't have the either delays or the unexpected behavior, those kind of things. $20 for 1 month looks like the way you can get Copilot Pro. E3, E5 licenses, you do have to commit at this point. You can go down to 1 license, but you commit to an entire year. So it's like $360 US.
The truth is, I still think ChatGPT is far too cheap for what it's providing. So when I paid the $300, I had no problems, because the value, I'm getting people sending me messages on LinkedIn telling me how much they love the artwork. It's like they can't wait for my next piece. It's really, for the 300, I'm like, okay, you can have that. And I know that one day I'm going to turn it on. It's going to be like, what happened overnight? It was like that with the pictures on ChatGPT. They were awful. Then overnight, they suddenly became as good as all the other software overnight.
Yeah.
It wasn't
the same thing with video, right? Video's made huge leaps within the last like month or two, it seems.
Is that Vimeo you were saying?
Video, yeah. Some of the video stuff that it's not ChatGPT, but it's OpenAI has now a video platform that they're doing some examples from. And I think it's a minute video. Yeah. I haven't played around with it yet. I've got ChatGPT, a license for that, which I haven't spent as much time because I'm kind of immersed into Copilot and day jobs and trainings and other things. But yeah, it's really interesting because there's like an embarrassment of riches at this point. There's so much that we can do, that we can play around with, feedback that we can give. It's really an exciting time.
Definitely.
Yeah, it does feel that way. It really does feel that way. It's extraordinary. Extraordinary. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing, Stephen?
And Frank, the other thing that I've got here, hey, Stephen. I'll share this very quickly, but
okay.
We can do our wrap up here. I did use Copilot within the browser, not within the application. So I need to stop sharing and I need to change it to the browser, which I thought was what I was sharing. And from a browser perspective, the same file, the stocks example, showed up with add formula columns. And then it says, hey, do you want any of the formula columns that I could suggest, show data insights or other things? So that same file, I had to create the table. I had to use Copilot in the upper right. And then from a standpoint of the browser, it's been a little more, I'll just call it stable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not sure why that is. Those weekly calls, they've been starting to provide us some of the information behind the scenes and things that are coming up. So it's going to be interesting to see how much, and the difficulty there is they're weekly calls. So if I have, a class going on that week, sometimes I miss those calls. And again, an embarrassment of riches, right? You get this insider access as a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, but it's not necessarily your day job. It's community contributions, it's meetings that you get access to, and recordings if you can't make the meetings real time. But sometimes it feels like there's just not enough hours in the day.
No. How many people are working on Copilot, do you think?
Great question. The two people that lead the calls are kind of the spokespeople for it, but I would imagine it's got to be hundreds, if not thousands, of employees. And it depends on what you're talking about. Like if you're talking about the coding, there's probably teams from each of the Microsoft 365 apps. And then it's far beyond that, right? There's Sales Copilot and there's GitHub Copilot and there's all these different Copilots now. So I have to imagine the teams, if they're organized that way, I'd have to, ask a couple more questions on like the organization of the Copilot team. But I'm sure it's in the thousands, if not, hundreds of thousands kind of thing.
So Daniel, do we have reason why Copilot only works when the Excel is in table form?
I have not heard the reasoning for that. I think it's just so that it's not having to interpret, larger amounts. So if you had multiple sheets, for instance, and I had things going on in calculations that I'm maybe showing the results of the calculations, like my investments and just balances here. If I don't tell Copilot that I'm just really looking at a table over here with maybe a summary of my investments as opposed to the raw data, Copilot's probably just getting way too many signals and way too many inferences of what I'm going to ask it to do. So I would imagine that's why you have to put it in a table first for Excel specifically.
I found that with Power Automate.
So Dan, if we have multiple table on the same sheet, is there a way we can specify where we are targeting?
Yeah, I think it's just when you're in the table. So if I'm on sheet 2 and I create a table here, and then I tell it my table doesn't have headers, and my table over here might be geography information. So Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Let's see, Wisconsin is north of me, and Minnesota is north of that. Minnesota. Let's see if I can spell it correctly. And then it lets me convert all this to geography. So similar to what it did with stocks, now I'm going to be converting these to geographical locations, and then I could also ask, different questions of my data or add additional data points here within this. Let's see if I don't think it's showing up in the same way. I haven't played around with geography as much as stocks, but here if I say, let's see, highlight or create a column of state abbreviations. Abbreviations. I can't even spell today.
You don't need to spell correctly because it just knows what you're doing anyway. It doesn't make any difference.
Hopefully, let's see what it does.
Never correct spelling mistakes in ChatGPT. Never. Come on, let's do it.
Exactly. Let's see how smart Copilot is with. Sorry, I can't do that. Rewrite request. Clearly identify columns. So I believe it's looking at the columns or the one column that I have here, but it's getting confused about what to do after that. And then the other thing that Microsoft is suggesting is that we provide the feedback of what's happening and what might not be working, what is working. It looks like because I'm in a share that it's getting confused about what to share with Microsoft. So I'll have to give them that feedback. And I'll try this for next week too.
Okay, cool.
Well, thanks everyone. Frank, it's great to be back with you live.
Yeah.
Paul, it's great to have a session with you as
Steven.
well.
Hi.
Hey, Stephen.
Yeah, apologies for today. I actually came late. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
That's been nice to come here.
No worries.
I'm not so good on Azure, but I'm going to learn from you guys.
Yeah. Stephen is going to do some stuff in Azure.
I was supposed to do implementing the lab today, but yeah, so maybe probably next week. Yeah.
We may be aiming for next week, so yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Very good.
That's the nice thing about weekly. We've got plenty of weeks to fill with content.
Yeah. So Paul, you want to kind of see some more stuff on Azure, do you?
Sorry?
Do you need to?
This is my second or third time. So when I saw Azure, I kept away from it, but I just like the idea of coming along and see what happens. So it's just really nice to hear what's happening. I don't know anything about Azure at the moment, but I'm just here for the community and just whatever I pick up, really.
Sure. Yeah.
Really enjoying it.
So look, we're up on top of the hour, so we're going to be back here next week for the Azure and AI show again, and hopefully Stephen might be able to do the lab on the Azure stuff for us, and hopefully Joseph will have some more stuff going forward. I'll be doing stuff every other week as well on Azure and AI as well, so we'll see. I normally kind of give people a chance to do stuff, and maybe you might do something going forward, Paul, on Copilot for us if you get it going.
Yeah, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that would be a session of it should do this, but it's not at the moment.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of people comparing ChatGPT to Copilot. So Paul, it might even be interesting to do, kind of a side by side, with a couple things, of the same prompts type thing, and see which one, is the winner, or which one gives you the best graphics, whatever it might be.
I can tell you now, but I'll keep it as a surprise. It's ChatGPT.
Okay. Cool.
Exactly.
I know one day I'm going to turn up, and the problem as well is Copilot's quite slow compared to ChatGPT as well at the moment. I know that will change, but at the moment it feels like I could have done this 3 times in ChatGPT and carried on with my day.
Yeah.
I know it will get better. I know it will get better.
Yeah, sure. Too.
So listen,
Thanks.
guys, we'll wrap the live session there, and we'll be back here again next week at the same time for the Azure and AI show. So thank you everybody for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Bye.